This kind of looks like a dig spot to me right here. Sure, some cars have lined up. You got a pretty good stretch of road back here at these warehouses. Hey everyone, how's it going today? Wanted to do just kind of an update type video. Honestly a little bored at the moment, so I wanted to go out and just kind of check out a few different spots to see about future photo shoots or just being able to do some videos. So as of right now, just kind of cruising around. What I wanted to touch on in this video is just some of the performance mods that I've done that really make the car what it is for me, as well as just kind of some cosmetics that I believe just really makes the vehicle stand out itself. So once I find a good spot, I'll be back up to date with you guys and just going over a little bit more about the WRX itself. So a lot of questions I get asked are why the WRX drives the way it does and what can I do to actually make it drive a little bit better. Now what I wanted to talk about is the transmission mount, the pitch stop mount, as well as the engine mounts. Now for my WRX here, I have the group in transmission mount, the Perrin pitch stop brace, I guess you would call it, as well as the mount, as well as the Perrin engine mounts. Now what these mods do is clear up the slop in the drivetrain, and what that means, just basic terms, is that whenever you're shifting, the car feels more in line. It doesn't feel like it's any type of chugging, say going low in first gear, as well as just downshifting, throw it into gear at high RPMs. On some of those track days, it really helps clean it up where it doesn't feel like there's any type of bounce or lug or kind of like engine brake. It all just seems very smooth and linear. Now with the suspension setup, it is on the Airlift Performance 3P kit, dual compressors. This is a 5-gallon tank. Now what this does is actually get the car lowered a bit. It's aired out right now, so it looks really low. Not a crazy amount of camber, only about -2.5, just to get the tires to tuck good. Now what this offers is that whenever I'm actually driving on a regular basis or at the track, the car can sit at a little bit lower position. So it's not as, I guess the easiest term would be wobbly. Whenever you're actually making your left and right hand turns, the car stays planted a whole lot more, and it helps you power through those turns. Now you can probably tell that there's a lot going on in the engine bay, but two main things I wanted to point out was the Perrin master cylinder brace, as well as you'll be able to see up in here, it's the Perrin oil cooler. Now the oil cooler helps with daily driving as well as on the track days. It keeps temps, normally that would be around 250-ish, around 230, and whenever I'm just daily driving, normal temps of about 216 are now 198. So it clears that up a whole lot and just helps the engine be able to perform better without any type of heat soak going on around here at the intercooler. Now this intercooler, for those wondering, is the Grimspeed intercooler with the charge pipe ETS intake. Now this helps the car breathe a little bit better, as well as the reason why I went top mount over front mount is because I drive in a couple areas like in New Mexico. I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, but the front mount would get totally destroyed out there. So I want to make sure that I have a better daily driver to take up to the mountains, so during that time I don't have to worry about having to I guess kind of pick stuff off of it or going over any type of bumps or rocks in the road. Now the last part I wanted to talk about is the Boomba short throw shifter, as well as transmission plate, and then the Perrin bushing. And I guess you could mention the shifter stop. Whenever I'm driving, the throws are a whole lot shorter. I'll show you just like going into first or second. It's not a whole lot of throw, as well as it's kind of, I guess you would say, clunky to an extent, so you know that you're really going into gear. And that apart from the OEM, sometimes it was weird going into first or having trouble going into fifth, and whenever I installed this, it actually cleared it up a lot. As well as whenever I'm trying to like downshift from say third to second, it's really just kind of like a sweeping motion over, rather than having to feel like you're coming down and going over and then down again a whole lot more. So I like how this has cleared it up a whole lot. The last thing I just wanted to mention was the Cobb access port. Now the access port is what I wanted initially, and I got it with the ETS intake, ran that map for a little while. And what that does for the car is just being able to put in your tunes as well as just monitor everything. I always make sure that my dam stays at 1 through owning the car from, I guess, around August or October, around that time of 2016. My dam has always stayed at 1, no matter if I got in a crunch, had to put like a 89 gas in it just to be able to get a couple miles, but I've never had an issue with the dam actually dropping. With feedback knock and fine knock learn, the only thing that I've ever seen on the car is the negative 2.81, which that mainly is from, one, it could be just turning on my AC, but also on days that it is off at the track, it's from something kind of bumping that, whether it be a rock or one of my exhaust pieces that bumps. You never really know. It could be just downshifting into a high RPM and the car doesn't like it as much, or it causes the engine to kind of bounce. It's nothing that I've ever worried about and continue not to worry about. It's something that I see as normal. And besides that, there's not much to it besides just cosmetics and then a couple mods here and there. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and as always, happy driving and enjoy.